Hello and welcome back to another Division video. Today I'm going to be showing you the gear that I'm going to be going into incursions with. Now by the time you see this, incursions are already out and maybe you've already done them. Please post your experiences down below, I'll be sure to tell you mine. Now let's just get right into this. First of all, I'm going to show you what weapons I will be using. For my primary I want to be using my military L86 LSW. This is a level 30 weapon, but it has very good rolls. It has predatory, which killing a target regenerates 12.5% of my health over 5 seconds. I cannot explain how much times this has allowed me to tank that little bit more damage and not use as much healing ability or med packs. It is really useful, and I think it's actually one of the most underrated perks you can get on a weapon. Now, for the second one, it is Brutal. Brutal increases your headshot damage by 23.5%. Now this makes your DPS crazy high. As you see, I actually can get 200,000 DPS. It doesn't update properly for some reason, but I actually have, I think it's 207,000 DPS with my LSW. It is insane, but for some reason this game likes to unequip my mods and make me seem like I ain't as good as I is. Now, I must also explain that the role that I might be filling in incursions, this is not for sure, but it's the role that we discussed and we practiced for a bit today. Today's the day before, and I've just finished grinding challenge mode in Dark Zone to, you know, prepare for incursions. And if you want to see more incursion videos, you might see some more today. You might have seen some earlier on. Might see some later on today. It depends. All depends on what I can get recorded, because there is plenty to get recorded and pump out some videos. So if you guys want to see some videos on 1.1, then be sure to hit that subscribe. Anyway, before I start begging for subscribers anymore, let's go into my secondary. Now you guys might disagree with this secondary a little bit because it's a bit of a weird one. It's actually the Police Mark 17. Now the reason I'm using this is that bottom talent right there, balanced. I unfortunately don't have an M1A, and this is basically the next best thing as it goes semi-automatic marksman rifle ways. And I actually use this as a battle rifle, not using it as the traditional sniper, actually using it up close and personal, not necessarily scoped in that much. And I will show you right now how insanely good this is. The other skill that I have active on this is actually the one that gives you a chance to apply bleed, which is a very powerful skill, especially in the Dark Zone. Now, as you see, there's that far target there. I'm firing shots here and it just stays accurate. Even if I spam shots, it stays accurate. It's an insane weapon for doing that. Maybe not the most damaging marksman, but one of the best in my opinion. Now let's go into some of my armor. As you see, I'm spec'd into mainly firearms, and then going down from there, stamina, and then electronics. The only reason I have 1300 electronics is so that I'm not completely useful as my support slash I don't know exactly what to call it, but I'm support, but I can also handle myself in situations. I can also help out with the DPS. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Now, first of all, I have a reckless talent on my chest piece. Unfortunately, this is my only level 30 piece of armor. I would love to get a level 31 piece, but I just don't think I will find one today. Well, one suggesting it's past midnight now, so technically this is actually the 12th. So there's going to be better gear coming out, and I just know some of this is going to be getting replaced, but hey ho, I gotta make the video, I gotta make something for you guys, you know. Reckless is actually glitched out at the moment. I believe it is actually getting patched with 1.1 though, so you will be taking that extra 10% damage. If you're already running this, you'll be taking an extra 20% damage, because if you didn't know, right now Reckless actually buffs your damage resistance by 10% instead of decreasing it. This particular chest piece is so good because it's got the 2 mod slots. I know you can get 3, but I haven't been as lucky to get that. It's also very good because it has health on kill, which helps out yet again with not having to use my healing skills on myself, so I can, you know, throw out my support station to other people, and it just helps me survive. It also has ammo capacity, which is a must-have on most of your armor if you are a challenge mode runner or anything like that. It's more of an essential perk. The other one is also my smart cover damage resilience. I usually run smart cover, but for incursions I will actually show you I'm running something a little different. Now the mods aren't too interesting, so I ain't going to go over them, but let's move on to my mask. My mask has rejuvenated. It's an okay perk. It removes all negative status effects when you use a medkit. I would prefer to get one that's healed, that, you know, this one, because, you know, it's glitched out and I know it is getting patched, but it is a really handy perk to have. And this is the most ideal one I would have. I would love to get Tenacious on anything. I really hope that with 1.1 I find a good mask with Tenacious, because that almost 10% damage increase for 10 seconds whilst using a medkit, it'd be so good. Now the perks I have on it is scavenging and turret duration. I'm using a lot of turret stuff, and you'll see why later on, but let's get on to the next piece of armor, which is my knee pads. My knee pads have perceptive on them. This is just to well, basically who doesn't like more credits and item finds, so yeah, there's that. It's also got protection from elites and increased kill XP, which isn't too handy late game. It's handy in the dark zone, because that actually counts in the dark zone, which is something a lot of people don't actually mention. The ones that I run when I'm not running these is these ones, because they have the 92% scavenging and that kind of stuff, so I don't exactly know what is better, perceptive or 90% scavenging. In my experiences, I've found more high ends using perceptive than any amount of scavenging, so I believe that perceptive is a very good perk to get if you're looking for that high ends. Yeah, again, saying that, it's going to be 100% drop come tomorrow, come with 1.1 from named enemies in the dark zone, so it's not going to be that hard finding high ends, but these will just make it better. Next we got the backpack. The backpack is a tactical pack. It's got Relentless on it, which is 3% of the damage dealt by skills is returned as healing. Now with my incursions build, this is really good, and yet again you'll see why once I go into my skills and all that kind of stuff. This is basically your run-of-the-mill backpack. It's not the best, it's not the worst. Yet again, I'm using some turret stuff, and it's also level 31. You will see why when I go into my skills. And yes, it is a turret. I would actually like to get ammo capacity on this, but unfortunately I've already re-rolled this and cannot re-roll for ammo capacity, which would be ideal. But moving on, we got the gloves. Now I'm using gunslinger gloves, and this is because it's solely because that LMG damage. That critical hit damage is also a very big upside to this gloves, and that pulse critical hit damage would be really good, but I do not run pulse personally. I just I'm not used to running pulse. I'm used to being in groups where somebody's already running pulse, and when I run solo I don't run it myself, it's just not my style. I know it's a lot of people's, but I never really take advantage of it that much compared to my smart cover and self heal, which is what I run when I'm solo. I do have a few good pairs of gloves, such as these, but they're all level 30, as you see. In fact, wait, they are level 31, but as you see, that will destroy my DPS, but it will make my health completely tanky. But that's not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for health and firearms with a little bit of skill power. The reason I don't want too much skill power is the skills that I use don't necessarily need to be that strong. Last of all, for the armor, we have the Spec Ops holster. I actually had to buy this with Phoenix credits because I do not believe you can craft a level 31 holster. I believe you could probably find one, but as of today I did not have a level 31 holster, and I thought that buying this, given that it has all 3 attributes, it didn't have a mod slot. I rerolled for that, and it also has turret duration, and also nimble is a pretty good perk. It really helps with moving to cover. You know, might as well heal whilst you're doing it. The reason I want everything 31 is because 31 is going to be equivalent to 182 or something around that gear score, whereas level 30 is 160. So obviously the higher your gear score, the easier your game will be. That is just how their system is going to be measured. You know, it's going to be the higher your gear score, the better you're geared. That's basically what it means. Oh yeah, in case you was interested, here's my pistol. It's nothing that interesting. It does do 15.5 damage, but it only has accurate, which is a mediocre perk, ain't exactly a god roll of a pistol. But hey, it's a pistol, and this is a pretty good pistol, so I'm pretty happy with it. Let's get on to the abilities. And the abilities I'm running, and I will tell you why I'm running them, is Support Station and the Flame Turret. The Flame Turret is for CC control, you know, crowd control. If you don't know what CC means, it means crowd control. This just keeps all the enemies from rushing you too much, which is a thing that tends to happen in this game quite a lot. And using this turret, you can funnel enemies into a bottleneck where the turret will be sitting and they will just stop still because they're on fire, and it makes them really easy to take out. Ooh, I'm getting a bit of a dry throat. Sorry about that. Anyway, next of all is the Support Station. I'm using this with life support, so if me or any of my teammates go down, it just is a lot easier for them to get revived by my life support. And you know, that's basically it. It heals you a little bit, and it provides free revives if you go down. This is also a really good thing to play to take as a solo player, as it will actually give you that option to revive yourself, almost like a self-res, which is really powerful in my opinion as a solo player. I just haven't really experimented with it. Now, last of all, for my my ultimate, my superior, my special, I always forget what they're called, but for my ultimate, special, whatever, I'm using the medical one, which is Recovery Link. Now this is obviously for that dire situation where my 2 teammates, which is the 2 rushers of the team, or team consists of 2 rushers, a support, and a marksman. Marksman will obviously be sitting behind me, you know, giving me support, giving me cover fire and dealing damage on priority targets. Support is me. I run around, make sure everyone is getting buffed, and making sure the enemies are controlled. That is my job. My job is also to revive people, so this makes sense, right? If my 2 rushers go down, then I can easily just pop this. It gives them a little bit of overshield as well, and that constant regen. So it can really help in bad situations. And I believe there's going to be a few of them in the incursions if they are as hard as they are made out to be. Lastly, we've got the talents. Now for the talents, I am running Triage, which is heal an enemy, will reduce the cooldown of a skill by 15%. This is a really essential perk for skill based or support characters. I know my character isn't really spec'd into electronics, but I do take advantage of skills, so this is really handy, especially since I am a support. I heal people, so when I'm healing them, I might as well take advantage of it, right? My other one is Combat Medic, which when I use a med pack, it will heal everyone around me within 20 meters. Obviously, I'm going to be within 20 meters of the rushers, sitting back a little bit, you know. That's why I use an LMG and a battle rifle or marksman rifle or DM or whatever. And so if I see they are in need, I will pop my med kit and it will help them out. Simple as that. Now for the next one, I'm using Wildfire. This is because of my flame turret. Obviously it just helps it deal a little bit more damage and be more effective. So if it's something you're going to be running, then run Wildfire with it. As simple as that. Next one is tech support, which is kill a hostile with any skill deployed to extend its duration by 10%. Obviously, I am deploying a support station and a turret, so if I'm also killing whilst these are deployed, it's just going to be deployed for longer. This just helps with crowd control and yet again providing that place where you can revive yourself and get some heals. And I believe that's all for this video. If you guys have enjoyed it, then be sure to slap that like button. I would really appreciate it. And I am kind of rushing this outro because my throat is really dry. You can probably hear it in my voice. My throat's also being a little bit dodgy right now. It's because of the change of the weather. I usually get a little bit like this. Anyway, tell me what you think of my build and tell me your build down below in the comments. I'd be really interested to see what people are going into into incursions with, and maybe if you've already did incursions, maybe you post down below what you got from it and what maybe but also don't post any spoilers just in case we have not completed incursions yet, but I do think we will be getting them completed as soon as possible. Obviously we're going to have a little look in the dark zone first, so if you want to know the weapon drops of each enemy in the dark zone, they are going to have a unique drop, as you may or may not know. Then keep tuned to here because I'll be sure to keep you guys posted on that kind of stuff and much more. Anyway, that's been all from me. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and see you guys in the next one.